My name is Elizabeth Rushman, and I've been living here for a year and a half. And
could you tell a little bit about how you came to Cherry Brook?
Sure. I grew up in northern Sweden, and in a small town, in a little church, and my dad came from here, from the States. I grew up Mennonite, and my mom is from Sweden. And I think, like, even though the church I grew up in wasn't at all shaped by Anabaptism, I carried some of that with me through my parents and their faith. So, like, peace and justice was always an important part of what it meant to be a Christian. But when I graduated from high school, I went to a Bible school and a folk school for a year, and I studied a class called Environment and Justice, and it was theology around different issues like how to care for creation or why to care about creation, and poverty and economy, and gender equality and peace issues. And so we studied these different themes and learned and discussed and explored what they meant for a disciple. And it was really a good year, and we talked a lot about like how can we live out our faith in our daily lives, and like reading in Acts about the early churches, and just thinking, like, is this possible today? And how would it look like? What would it look like? And our teacher, she told us about some Christian communities in different forms, and at the end of the year, we all really wanted to visit some communities like this, and so we took the train to Germany, and we visited two different communities. One was Bruderhof community, and they lived really simply off the land, and that was a really, really interesting experience. We were just there for a couple of days, and I was really challenged by their way of like sharing everything, but I was also feeling like I don't think this is the way that I would like to live in community, because of their view of women. Maybe like they didn't have the same place in community as the men, and also it felt a little bit like it was isolated from those in need, like, and from other people, really. They had themselves, and they were kind of like living out the kingdom of God amongst themselves, but maybe not necessarily like opening it up for.
It's kind of a monastic movement with walls.
Yeah. And it was really beautiful too, but I didn't feel like I could do anything like that, or desired quite that life. And after that, we went to Hamburg, and we visited a Catholic worker community for a couple days, and they took in undocumented refugees in their home, and they lived out their faith in that way, sharing what they had with those in need. And I really got caught, and I was thinking I'd like to explore this more, and I think I was a little disappointed at the church, because sometimes it felt like hypocrisy, or a little empty, like it was just like the church I grew up in was an evangelical little church, and I mean, the people there were really great, but I also felt like sometimes it was like you went to church on Sundays and then you didn't. And like, is that all that the church should be? And like wanting it to be a bigger part of the everyday life, and like this Bible school that we were talking a lot about, like a more holistic view of discipleship, and that every area in my life should be really should shape how I treat the earth, or how I look at money, or
And how did you eventually come to find Cherith Brook?
So I was gonna go live with my grandpa for a few months, and he lives in Wichita, or close to Wichita, and I was thinking, if I'm coming all the way over here, I should see if there's a Catholic worker nearby, because there's none in Sweden, and I knew that there were several here. And so I talked to my cousin about it. She lives here in Kansas City, and she wanted me to move here, and she had actually met some of the people from here at a protest, SOA protest in Georgia, against torture.
School of the Americas.
Yeah. And so I contacted them, and then I got to do an internship that summer. And then I stayed on.
And why don't we go ahead and I'll stop there, and this all